Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as To Liz for You, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Instagram and on Ravelry. And on Instagram, I'm Knitting in Our Jeans. And I have posted a couple things. I know I posted on Mother's Day. I was trying to post something recently. I can't remember whether I did or not. Sometimes I can get it going the right direction, and sometimes not. So anyway, that's us.
Yes.
This is me.
Well, we have been away for a while.
Well, I've been doing...
You posted.
I posted.
Okay.
So we're back as a duo, which is always good.
Yes.
I do have a Nan update. We had a phone conference with my mom involved with PT, physical therapy, occupational therapy. Occupational was basically hand and arm. Physical therapy are her legs. We had the dietitian. We had the social worker, and we had the activities specialist. And the only thing my mother contributed to the meeting was that she wanted to get back to her own apartment. Well, believe me, there's nothing that we would like more than to have her in her own apartment. If she gets back to her own apartment, she'll be getting back there with 7-day-a-week aides. And what upsets me most about this is that we had 7-day-a-week aides with her, and she decided she didn't need them 7 days a week. So the day that she fell was a no aid day, and she doesn't move that fast. She could not, I don't believe she could have gotten out of the chair fast enough for the aide not to have noticed. But it's water under the bridge. Right now, it doesn't sound like in her mind she's given up, but she doesn't want to put a lot of effort forth. So even eating is tiring. And my brothers and I keep reminding her that she needs to eat in order to have the energy to eat more the next day. She doesn't want to do the physical therapy. She doesn't want to do the occupational therapy. In her mind, she should be able to go back to her apartment without having to do all this. And any of you who've had major surgery, major accidents, I had a C-section with Elizabeth. And I can remember them telling me I had to get up and walk down the hall the next day. And I thought they were effing crazy. You know, if any of you had a C-section, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was sure my guts were going to spill out in the hall as I walked down the hall. And it hurt. But the one aide said, you know, it's going to feel a lot better tomorrow. And she was right. It felt a whole heck of a lot better the next day. And I was able to do twice the haul and all of that. When I had my knee done, because I had a replacement knee, and I did the physical therapy, that memory of what I had to do after the C-section got me through the physical therapy for my knee. Yes, it hurt, but I knew that the next day it would be better. My mom doesn't believe that. And so anytime she comes up against any kind of difficulty, she's tired. It hurts. And she has a list of things that she says. And there's no objective way of measuring this. The OT and the PT said that they believe she could do more if she wanted to. And that's the thing, if she wanted to. I was downstairs. I was actually doing something with my glasses and something else in the living room. And I was thinking about what would my grandmother say to her daughter, my mother, in this situation. Now, my grandmother was an RN, and she had grown up with a hard scrabble background. It doesn't come much worse. I mean, her dad gave her away at age 12 to work in a uncle's dairy because he wanted to get remarried, and his new wife didn't want the children or the daughter of the former wife around. So she just felt like she'd been given away all her life. She would tell Eleanor, get up and do what you're supposed to do. My grandmother was a big proponent of tough love. And she got me through so many different things. Just say, I know it hurts, darling, I know it hurts. Just do it. It will be better. And my mom doesn't believe that. And there's no one around here like my grandmother to tell her, shape up, not ship up, shape up. If my Nana was here, my mother would shape up.
Heck, if Poppy were here, she'd shape up.
Well, so it's...
The only time that woman did her PT after her hips was when he did it with her.
Right. So...
She's never been good at doing PT.
She never has. Never has. She hates exercise. So we had made a rule. Someone here, a couple people said, "How are you doing?" And honestly, most of the time I feel like I'm doing okay, except I have this undercurrent of frustration and I guess anger at that she had declined the 7-day-a-week aid, and I really do have to get over that. And I was doing some knitting, and I'll show you what I was doing. I was buckling down. But yesterday I was sitting in my chair thinking about what would my Nana tell my mother. And at that point I dropped my glasses, and I had something else in my hand, and this wrist hyperextended down this way. Mm-hmm. And it was numb. Yeah, it was numb, tingling, all that. So I've iced it. I have it in a brace. When I don't have it in the brace, I'm icing it. I go to PT tomorrow, or actually OT, they call it, because I'm working with weights. And they agreed with me, the doctor agreed with me, that I should start out under the direction of someone who knows what they're doing. And I'll tell them what I've done, and we'll see what I can do with the right hand, which of course is my dominant hand. And it means I'm going to have to take a break from knitting, or probably at least until Friday, which is going to be tough, very tough. Anyway, that's the update on my mother. At this point, it is in her hands and God's hands. So, we just have to hope that God whispers in her ear and says, "Eleanor, come on, let's push it a little bit." So that's her update. Okay.
Yeah. And we've been out of town, but then you were visiting Nan in the in-between week that we were going to record.
Yes, we had to rush down because that's when she broke her hip.
Yeah.
So I put up 2 singlets, and they were short. I also have put up 2 shorts. I think 1 or 2 shorts
to go with your patterns.
To go with the patterns, and I know I'm going on and on about this cable hat. I think I've gotten just about the last comments from my tech editor, and I have to work on an additional chart, and I think with the additional chart, we will then have everything together.
Good.
Then we're going to be talking with Ben about our next steps in terms of distribution. The people that had done our test knits, once I get this fully tech edited, I'll send you out copies because I'm very, very grateful, extremely grateful for all your efforts and your comments and things like that. And that's then the next thing I'm going to try to do after this is to do an entire hooded cowl rather than just a swatch or a partial one, because I saw that on Gosadi, I saw that they were putting out a call in a couple weeks for a free pattern, and since Knit Picks didn't like my hooded cowl, I will make up a whole hooded cowl so that we can take a picture of it, and then see if Gosadi wants that. So there's that to do. And no, I haven't worked on the sweater.
You're procrastinating.
Sloper. I'm procrastinating because it doesn't come easily to my head. But I wanted to finish the dress.
That's fine.
And I don't even have that much yarn left. I mean, look at this. You can see through it. It has to wait until Friday before I think I pick up any more because I don't want to set this back. I'll find out more tomorrow from the PT guy. Yeah. But after this, I was set because I was actually going to work on a Henley-like design because I wanted to make a cotton Henley /ribbed skirt, just like this one, just like this. with my own directions. Because I love these things. You get up out of bed, you take your pajamas or your gown off, and you throw something like this over your head, and you go out and get the newspaper, and you've got clothes on. So I was really looking forward to that. Oh, well, I'll have to wait. Go ahead. You talk about what you've done. Oh, yeah. I mean, I can show. Did you finish anything?
Why don't you show them
what I've done?
What you've done.
Okay. If I can get it. There we go. So this is
the hem.
The hem.
And this is because it has shrunk in washing?
This shrunk in the dryer. I mean, this yarn.
Is it the Shopperball or
it's the Shopperball. Shopperball. Anyway, it's the German yarn, and it is machine washable and dryable. And this thing had stretched out, so I purposely put it in the washer and dryer, and it just came up a little bit. And so, because I like red, I happen to like white, black, and red. What can I tell you? So I'm making an additional red hem for as much yarn as I have. So I'm basically using up part of my stash to make this hem. And when I reach the end of that, it's done. So that's that.
Good.
Okay.
I have not. So if we want to remember the goals for 2024, it was finish a WIP every month. Well, right. May that didn't happen because instead I read a total of, well, if we're counting the books that I have finished that I finished yesterday instead of finishing it on Friday, I finished 10 books.
Which is great.
Only 2 of which were under 200 pages.
Okay.
And
these are printed books. These are not.
No, they are either or audio or printed books. But
I go through books like crazy.
Right, but I also work.
Well, I know you do, darling.
I
don't sleep as much as some people do.
Yeah.
I love being up in the early hours where Richard is asleep, and I can watch whatever I want. Blown Away is back up.
Oh,
yes.
Fun.
The Blown Glass program, I think it's season 4, is now back up.
Oh.
And I am like...
It's very cool.
It's very cool.
When we drove into Mystic, on Saturday, the glass blowing, that studio that's right on that, when you come to the triangle.
I don't,
intersection.
but I'll believe you.
They had their garage door open, and they had people working.
I'm entranced by glass. Yeah. I really am. In my next life, maybe I'll do that. I mean, I did use stained glass for a while.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law still has the stained glass lamp that I made for them up in her dining room. So I have done stained glass, but I never really had time to do that much of it. So I think at this point I'm going to stick with embroidery. I'm going to stick with the quilting. I'm going to stick with what I'm doing now. Maybe adding painting in. I thought I was going to start painting it and see. Maybe I could hold a brush. Maybe. I was actually cleaning the house
in
preparation for these 2 to come over, and I had taken some spare needles from downstairs and brought them upstairs. Now this is fun. I was doing a test to see how many stitches I have in the larger size. And then I got sidetracked so that I folded clothes and then I vacuumed. I mean, it wasn't that I wasn't doing something essential, but I never finished the downstairs. And then I did this. So cleaning up the downstairs will have to wait a bit.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. This is not the first time I hyperextended. The last time it bent backwards. That, I think, was worse.
That was the mattress.
That was the pillows with your father.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, that was pushing the pillows instead of pulling the pillows.
You could see where it tore in my hand that time. That was not good. This time, what can I tell you? Anyway, so you didn't finish
I did not finish a WIP.
Reading.
I did a whole bunch of reading.
Okay.
Which is lovely in itself. And I picked up my Hawaii cross stitch for my friend again. So, no, this is the next cross stitch that will be completed.
Okay.
So, I mean, I got a whole bunch done.
Very nice.
I forgot to take progress photos, so that's going to be my goal.
Is this the outline of how much it's going to cover?
No, it's bigger. It's bigger.
Oh, okay.
But this is so that I could travel with it.
Got it.
So instead of pulling out my knitting when we were down in South Carolina, I pulled out my cross stitch a lot of the time, just because it was
small.
So that worked out. So I've been working on this. This is the Pretty Little Cities Hawaii by Satsuma Street. I really like their Satsuma Street. Beautifully drawn patterns, very cute, and I really like the little city set. Yeah. So I've been working on that. Part of it was also that I got to the sleeves.
Yeah.
I got the sleeves to the same spot. And then I realized I didn't have enough yarn.
For what?
To finish the sleeves to an appropriate length.
Oh.
So I found someone on Ravelry. I paid a lovely woman for a skein of yarn.
Okay.
And then I have since not wound it up.
Okay, so
I needed to wind it up here because I can't find my ball winder or my Swift in my apartment.
To come over?
No, we need to finish buying the IKEA stuff to organize my office.
Okay. We might want to meet with Remy over at your place.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So at that point, we could...
Yeah.
Because that's a central place.
Yes, we have a dining room.
Yes, you have a dining room. I understand that. I've seen it.
Yes. We can make that happen.
And that way, Remy's not going too far, and I can drive in, and we can get that settled. We think that their friend Remy is going to make me a website. Well, a website for me, not me a website. You know what I mean?
Whatever. But I think it's looking really good. I just have to get back on track with knitting on it.
Yeah. Well, now that you're here,
now that I have that, I can wind that. Because I thought about winding it by hand, and then I just didn't. So we all know how that goes.
And I love winding by hand.
See, it depends.
Because I find that I must tie the Swift too tight. So it makes the balls collapse upon themselves or get tangled. I need to let it just run free.
Or you have to make a cake twice. Because what you do is you take it off the skein.
Yeah.
And then you throw it in a bag or something and you
do it again.
And you do it again.
Well,
I've done that for you before to make your skein your cakes not collapse.
I can be downstairs and with your dad and watching whatever he's watching and hand winding, and it takes me about a half an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. When I was younger, I would not have been okay with it. I'm okay with it now.
Yeah.
By the way, Ben and Elizabeth were celebrating Richard's birthday kind of all week, and they took us out to lunch, meal. It was delicious at Bryant and Cooper, and then they went shopping for banana splits. Yes, it was delicious.
Good.
So now I'm on a sugar high.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. That was a bit more than a petit sweet for you.
Oh, it was lovely. It was lovely. Well, this is going to be lunch and dinner.
Yes.
I'm not planning on eating anything except maybe an 88 bar.
So the other thing that I've been working on is the Fittonia sweater.
I do love those colors.
And it's beautiful colors. I think the pattern is working really well with it. I am trying to do helical striping of the two skeins not at the start and end of the round, but at the opposite end, so that any changes in the, when you do,
not at the beginning of the round.
Yeah. Well, and also because you change the pattern at the beginning of the round.
Right.
So it's better to have it at the other.
Right. Right.
So I think I am... Let us consult the phone, because that is where the pattern lives for this. I believe almost. let's
really
see.
feels nice.
Thank
It
you.
feels so nice, and I love the colors.
Yeah. So I am on, I think I just finished the 4th repeat, and I need to do 5 repeat, or it is repeat rounds for 5 more times more, so I think I'm on 4 times more, so I'm now starting the 5th time.
Okay.
I am going to do some stitch counting to make sure, just so that we are all on the same page. And then I get to separate for body and sleeves, at which point I will probably do sleeves first, just to do those, because they're meant to be a little bit balloony.
Mm-hmm.
They're meant to be a little bit slouchy.
I love doing sleeves first.
Yeah.
Because they do take a long time.
Yeah.
But then they're done.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can work on the body, and you can use up however much yarn you have left. And so for me, that often means that I'm making it a little bit more tunic-like length, which I like. So anyway, yes, that looks lovely.
Yeah.
What else?
So that's all I've been doing.
What's in this bag?
That's the pattern for this.
Okay.
For the cross stitch. But this week was Stitch and Pitch.
Right.
So Stitch and Pitch.
I saw her on the phone. I was going to call her about something, and I can't remember what now.
Oh, you should have texted me.
But I saw you at the ball game, so I thought, well,
you should have texted.
I'm not going to bother you. Whatever.
You can still text. It's not a bother if it's a text message. Because I can always respond later.
Right. For some reason, it was going to be involved.
Ah, okay.
Probably about Dad's birthday. Whatever.
So, Stitch and Pitch with the Mets. And so we got these great bags.
They're great.
And we got the pattern for 2 different hats. So
Very
there's that
cute.
hat. And then there's this hat.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So you were able to get the yarn for one of them. But because I had some friends who don't knit come with me, I was able to get the yarn for both of them.
Very nice.
So Mom gets to choose which hat she wants to make.
Oh my.
Because our friend Remy was one of the people, and I already asked him which hat he wanted. He wanted that one. So I got the yarn to make that. And then, so one of the sponsors was Lion Brand, and we were able to pick one of these yarns. 2 of these are limited edition select.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
acrylic. They're
very nice.
Yeah. And then this is limited edition premium. Haven't really looked into them. There wasn't really much said about them. But the select feels a little bit more like a cotton.
Yes.
But it is 100% acrylic.
I'm not sure. This feels almost like a linen.
Yeah. So, it'll be interesting.
They have different feels to them.
They do.
This one, even though they have the same weight and the same yardage, this feels thinner.
It does.
More compressible than this.
Yeah.
So it's not really the same
This
weight.
feels more round.
Yes.
Yes. So I think that's interesting.
All right, well then I'll do this hat.
Well, I have both in here for you.
Oh, you do?
It's up to you. Yes.
Oh, all right.
So for one of the hats, for the Chris cap, which was designed by Jenny Noto of Wanded Knitting and Crochet, you got a skein of Louisa Harding Carraz, which is an alpaca and wool blend. And then for the Grid City cap, which is by Louis Borgia of Brooklyn Boy Knits, you got 4 skeins of Judy Long Chow,
Nice.
which is lovely.
No,
and then you got the needles to match.
Nice needles.
Yeah.
I think I will do the Chris cap, because it's kind of like a matrix. They say you're not carrying yarn. It looks like you're carrying yarn.
It's mosaic, you mean?
That's what I mean. Mosaic.
Okay.
Mosaic.
Yeah.
I love mosaic knitting.
Yeah. And then, I don't have it in
so
here.
much.
Yeah. But there were then stitch markers from Knit.
Oh, great.
Because Knit Roslyn was a sponsor,
Mm-hmm.
as well as there was a gift card from Cook's Crafts, which is in Glendale.
That's in Queens?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's yes. So, yeah, no, it was great. Fortunately, the Mets won.
Yay.
It was a trying game. It was a little bit of a struggle, but we made it.
As long as they came out in the end.
They came out in the end. But yeah, so
Great. Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. But
All right. Yes, I'd like to do this. Mosaic. I like mosaic knitting a lot.
But yeah, other than that, that's kind of what I've been up to.
I'll bring up what I brought up at the dessert table, that it's June, which means if you make any of your Christmas gifts, it's time to start planning now. I've got 2 little ones that I want to make sweaters for, because I think their mother is still interested in sweaters. And then I wanted to do an embroidered Christmas ornament for my mother. And I would normally start right in today, except for this. And in fact, maybe having the toddlers to knit for may help me in designing the sweater. Because they don't really care what the design is.
No.
So I can really start noodling around with it. As I said, the hat pattern is really close. Every time I send it to my tech editor, she really does go through it. God, she's wonderful. And she said, you didn't really address this, so I tried to address it, and she goes, you need another chart. So, yes, I will do that hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Tuesday, and then hopefully we'll have that set. Then I'm hoping by Friday I can start back on my dress and finish that, and then start maybe with one of the kids' sweaters, maybe with the summer Henley dress. It's time to stop procrastinating. I can work on some of the math maybe, because I had Instagram messaged one of the designers that I took a class with, and she answered my question. And of course, now that I haven't taken the class in 6 months, it's very hazy.
Was it one of the ones I took with you?
No.
Oh.
About how do I fit that in? It made perfect sense the day I was there. So I'm sure it will again. I just have to work my way through it. It's kind of like statistics. And this is from a woman who taught statistics. I had to take statistics over and over and over again until it finally sank in my head. And I had to write out the notes. I had to have charts. I did everything. So one of the reasons why the students liked me teaching stats is because I had it multimedia and multimodal for people who memorize things or learn things in a lot of different ways. And I think pattern design is going to be like that for me. I am dyslexic. That makes it a little bit more challenging. Because I omit things and I don't realize I've omitted them. It's like they're in my head.
Well, because you read it the way that
and
your
you
brain...
insert it, right?
Yeah.
And you insert it when it's not really there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's when people ask, so what are you doing? And I say, well, I'm doing knitwear design. And they go, oh?
You're doing what?
I said, yeah, I am. And I can also understand why people don't design sweaters because there's going to be a lot involved in the grading of the sweaters. But it's another challenge that will keep me going. I had the nicest compliment yesterday.
Oh.
We were at the boat club, and we were talking about race committee, and the race committee boat is called Worry Wart. And right now it's in terrible shape because no one club owns it, and no one club then takes care of it, which means nobody takes care of it.
Right.
So the seagulls love hanging out on the Worry Wart, which makes it pretty smelly. Yeah. And I said, I can remember when it was brand new, when everybody showed up and they're all whites, and this was a treat to be invited out on the committee boat. And it's really sad for me to see it in this shape. And the woman turned to me and said, "You're not old enough to have remembered that." I said, "Thank you
That's very
much.
sweet.
Thank you very much." So, thank you. Anyway, I think she's going to do is weave in some ends, as well as making a cake out of that yarn that she brought. And I'm going to go and ice.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah.
Yeah. And I will try to post next week if we can't get together.
I think we should be able
fine.
to.
I mean, I don't know. We could get a phone call at any time.
Exactly.
And have to take off.
Yeah.
So we'll do our best.
Yes.
Thank
you all for sticking with us.
Yes,
we understand.
Really appreciate it.
And we understand things have changed over the last few years with COVID and then with my partner moving to New York, which means I now have much more of an active social life.
Right. And I'm fine taping by myself.
Yes. You've gotten much better.
Well, whatever.
You, at the very beginning of all this, you did not want to even think about
I did
recording by yourself.
Because I thought that the interest would be in the both of us.
No, people really like you.
I guess.
Yeah.
And I think I may start making a compendium of knitted stitches because apparently the way my brain thinks about how to knit something, a lot of other people think that way too. So it's a matter of setting up around here. It really does look like a Rube Goldberg kind of setup in order to make the videos of those stitches. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it a great deal. I have not, God bless you, started working with getting involved in Adobe Illustrator, and I could obviously be doing that. So I've got tons of things to do. I just had to kind of lift myself up a little bit. I have more energy when things are going a little bit more smoothly.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It happens.
It happens. I too will survive, and we will get out of this.
Yes.
Anyway, we will see you soon. Thanks for staying with us.
Talk to y'all later. Bye.